Fragments of Eternity by Christophe Degout. Strange stories between life, death, and the unknown.
Fragment 2. The Waiting. When Simon sat on the toilet that morning, he had no idea he would remain there for eternity. The toilet was ordinary, tucked at the end of a narrow hallway with walls yellowed by time. A grimy little window let in a tired light, barely strong enough to chase away the shadows lingering in the corners. The beige tiles, chipped in places, bore witness to years of discreet use, of a functional, uneventful existence. A shiver, a strange pulse. The air had changed, too thick, too dense, an invisible curtain between him and the world. Then he realized he could no longer feel the weight of his body. He looked down. No more flesh, no more skin, just a still skeleton, frozen in its trivial posture. His jaw dropped, not from surprise, but because the ligaments had ceased to exist. He tried to get up. Impossible. His bones seemed glued to the seat, anchored by a nameless force. He wanted to scream, but no sound emerged. A cold breeze slid between his empty ribs. The stopped clock time passed, or perhaps it didn't. There were no more indicators, no street noises, no ticking alarm. Simon looked at his reflection in the mirror across from him. There he was, a skeleton, frozen on his porcelain throne. Silence wove an infinite web. No ticking, no whisper. Just waiting, suspended. The mirror reflected his absence. A skeleton, trapped in the moment. He moved a phalange. Nothing answered. He tried the flush. A click. An invisible wave stirred the air. He thought he heard laughter, light, mocking. Then the waiting resumed. The walls began to shift. The tiles cracked. Thick moss crept in. The ceiling split open, revealing a starless sky. A shadow passed, fleeting, undulating. A translucent cat jumped onto the sink's edge, stared at him with shifting pupils, then evaporated into silver dust. Simon wanted to scream, but his dislocated jaw made only a dry clatter. The cat returned, again and again. Sometimes black as night, sometimes shimmering like a constellation. Each appearance marked a transformation in the room. Algae blanketed the floor. Marine lanterns hung from the ceiling. Simon had no bearings left. One day, or an eternity later, a glass butterfly landed on his skull. It flapped its wings and bursts of light scattered around him. Simon felt a new sensation, melancholy. Later, an earthworm appeared, slowly crawling across the cracked tiles. Its body undulated with infinite patience, indifferent to the shifting room. It made its way through mosaic debris, pausing as if to listen for a hidden pulse beneath the earth. Simon watched, fascinated. It was the first creature that didn't seem lost in this ever-changing place. A visitor entered, a man in a referee's robe, his face featureless, scanned the room with a vacant gaze. He stopped in front of Simon and tapped his skull with the tip of his whistle. A lockout, he murmured. Simon tried to understand. Your last action, the cosmic switch. Fickle thing. Still, Simon didn't understand. The referee sighed. The mistake was simple. You wanted to leave, but... A silence. You flushed the toilet. The referee burst into broken, creaking laughter, then vanished. The tiles disappeared. The room dissolved into a liquid twilight. Plants unfurled around Simon. Winding vines, pale flowers with translucent petals. He felt something. A breath. A pulse. He had become an anchor. Roots passed through him without pain. They caressed him, twining around his ribs, clinging to his fingers. Buds bloomed on his bones. Then the buds became fruit. Heavy black fruits, translucent, filled with shifting reflections. In them, Simon saw fragments of other lives. A child laughing in a wheat field, an old man writing a letter never sent, a woman waiting beneath an unlit street lamp. He understood his role was no longer to wait, but to contain those forgotten moments. He was no longer a skeleton, he was a memory, a whisper. He is ready. The toilet flushed by itself. Simon vanished. In the silent jungle the room had become, a single leaf trembled, vibrating with a lost memory.
Fragments of Eternity is a dive into the imagination where ink strokes become stories and sketches, worlds. Narration and voices generated by 11labs.io. Royalty-free music 50sounds.com